and have been a realtor for the last several years. Been involved with Women in Business, and I am the past president of Women in Business and the networking chair. And Charlotte Clover is with Country Financial, and she has been a longtime member of Women in Business, has been past president, treasurer, everything. Charlotte and I were at the Union County Economic Development meeting on October 13th. We were both on the board at that time. And Alan Eddington had heard a presentation by Susan Odom, who is with Union County Extension Service. Then she was out of Johnson County, now she's out of Harrisburg. And the presentation that she gave really struck a nerve with both Charlotte and me. And with our group of people in Women in Business, we felt that we had an opportunity to make a real difference in Union County. So we are doing a nonprofit service project for this year, for the year 2014, to try to make a difference in Union County's economic situation, not the government, but in Union County business. Okay, so the study was done in 2012 by Susan Odom through the University of Illinois on retail marketplace profile. This study is only about retail sales. So keep that in mind. It doesn't involve education, does not involve health care. It is just about retail sales. I can't do the math for you because I'm not an economic development person. I'm not a finance person, but I have the details at home. But there's a formula that can be used to determine, based upon your demographics, age groups, money coming in, how old children are, how many are in school, what kinds of jobs people have. There's a formula that they can figure how much money is available for retail sales from the people in Union County. How much could all of us together spend in retail sales in a year? And what it found was, and this study was for all over Southern Illinois, it found that Union County has a leak of $44 million in retail sales every year. And Charlotte and I, this was a light bulb moment for us. What can we do? $44 million just in retail sales. So, it's $44,280,009 in 2012. Now, so there are a lot of things that we can't buy in Union County. We all know that. But there are a lot of things that we can buy in Union County. So that's what we're going to focus on today. But before we do that, let's talk about where we spend that money. Where does our extra money go? What's the situation with other counties? Well, when we spend our money in Carbondale, which has a lot of things we don't have, admittedly, they have a surplus. They bring in $67 million more than what they spend out in retail sales, than what they could send out. Okay, Marion in Williamson County, $140 million surplus. $140 million surplus. Okay, not a lot of us go to Paducah very often, but for this part, this is where their money goes, because all of these counties have quite a big deficit, which we have those figures if you want to see them. McCracken County has a $486 million surplus. Cape Girardeau County has a $287 surplus. We all contribute a lot to that. That is one of our main concerns here. So when you look at Southern Illinois, and then you look at the counties, this is all of our region in Southern Illinois. I think it's 12 counties. We had a $270 million loss, even including Johnson and Williamson. Indiana had $208 million in these counties surplus. The 13 counties of Western Kentucky had a $329 million surplus. And these counties in Missouri, $1 billion surplus. Again, money that we helped give them. Okay. So the next point out of many, many slides that Susan had, we've taken these slides from her presentation, is what we want to talk about, the pool analogy. Exports and imports. The money in is considered an export into Union County. This is money that we get in our paychecks, from local businesses, from tourists. Anything that brings money into our county goes into this pool. Okay, there's a normal amount of money that goes out. We're expecting a certain amount of money to go out for various purposes. What we're concerned about is this little leak over here. This little leak is that $44 million gap between what could be spent in Union County business in Union County. So, when we think about all of these things, especially this Cape Girardeau area and southeast Missouri, it puts us in this downward cycle. And as cost-conscious shoppers opt to drive out of the local community to save a few cents on items that can be purchased locally, they are unconsciously attributing to a downward cycle, which negatively impacts our local business community, the local job market, local real estate markets, and the local tax base. We even kind of had a joke at one time in our committee meetings that maybe we could talk the Union County government into putting a sign up as you cross the bridge out of Cape that says, thank you for putting the cinders and rocks on our roads, and salt on our roads. We really appreciate it. Our kids were in school. So that kind of thing is what we do. When we go over there, we don't just buy gas. You pick up groceries, you eat out, you go someplace else, someplace else. We are really trying to work on that. So the last few times when we've had to go to Cape, we all have to go to Cape sometimes, we don't buy gas. They'll say, but it's 27 cents cheaper. Drive on. So we just drove on back, bought our gas here. We don't shop at their Walmart. We don't shop at places over there. Their Kohl's, I don't shop in their Kohl's. I go to the Kohl's in Carbondale if I have to. Now, will I occasionally do that? Yes, occasionally I will. There are the reasons that we have to go to Cape. There are reasons I will use those places. I may even buy gas there once in a while. But I'm trying to make a conscious effort to only use our places when I can, our restaurants, our businesses when I can.
I'm going to address the damages that this $44 million retail gap really causes in our area, in our communities. So the opportunities that we have lost with retail sales. If you don't use the local businesses that we have, we lose them. They close their doors. When they close, you lose the jobs that have been associated with that retail business. The loss of the multiplier effect, Evelyn is going to address that. She's got an excellent presentation on that here in a few minutes. But we're going to talk about the sales tax that we lost. Everybody knows that whenever we collect the sales tax, 5% of that amount goes to the state of Illinois. If you're in a municipality or a city, a portion of the over 5% goes to that city or municipality. If it's outside the city or municipality, it goes to the county government. And everybody knows that we need all those taxes collected that we possibly can get. Also, the motor fuel tax revenues is when you buy gas, there's a tax that's collected. It goes to the state of Illinois. By some formula, it trickles back down. That actually helps put cinders on our roads and fixes our potholes on our roads. When you give Missouri that tax, you put cinders on their roads and you just fix their potholes. You didn't help anybody here. So we want to bring that to everybody's attention. So is your short-term gain versus your long-term loss? You know, is it really a bargain? You know, for you to buy out of the area, to buy out of the state. It negatively impacts the local business communities and the local employment, the wages that we have, and the real estate markets. It affects the local tax base and ultimately even our local schools. You know, it's not the businesses in Cape Girardeau and Paducah that are helping your school with the funding, with their extracurricular activities. It's the local businesses here in our area. So we need to, the purpose of this program is that, as Evelyn says, we're trying to shift a portion of people shopping back to our area to help this large gap that we were just dumbfounded by the total of it. So whenever you need to buy an item, we want everybody to think that, can I purchase this item locally? And if you can, then please do so. And if you can't, we want you to please think about Southern Illinois first. If you can't buy it in Union County, try going outside of our county, staying in our state, buying in one of our local communities inside our state. Everybody knows that Illinois, we all need the help. So the only way to fix all of our problems is to shift some of our shopping. Doesn't solve everything, but it will be a big help. And you know, yes, we do know that not everything is available here locally. We do know that. But there's many items that you can purchase here. You can purchase your local gas, that's local gas stations. You can purchase your groceries at a local supermarket. You can buy big ticket items locally, you can purchase your automobiles, you can purchase your building supplies. Heard Associated Lumber is going to start selling appliances now. So, I don't think we've been able to buy an appliance in Union County for a few years. So that's going to be a plus for all of us. Whenever you do your investing, when you buy your insurance, whenever you do local financing, make sure you use your local providers for that. All makes a difference in our community. If you're going to contract for services such as, getting your automobile repaired, getting your hair cut, going to the barber shop, the beauty shop, use your local people. Patronize a local restaurant. All makes a difference. All helps with jobs in our community. And as Evelyn had said before, this program is a program for this year, 2014, for Union County Women in Business. And we feel very strong about our communities and very passionate about this program. We have developed the signs that some of you may have seen. I have been sporting the new sign at my office, and this is our standard sign. We're selling these signs. We're going to get them out into the community so everybody can be aware of the program and try to see if we can shift some of everybody's shopping back to our communities to help everybody out. We also have T-shirts and decals. It's a not-for-profit program for us, so we're just trying to make an awareness in the community.
Okay, so what are the benefits to buying local? Well, first thing is jobs, and that's one of the reasons why if you look on most websites about shop locally or buy local, it will be about mom and pop stores. We are all for the mom and pop stores. They bring in lots of money to our community, but we are not excluding franchises such as Walmart, Kroger, Walgreens, all those, Pizza Hut, because they provide jobs in our community. In Union County, they make a huge difference. So the main benefit to shopping locally is jobs. The other thing is our thriving economy. When our economy is thriving, people want to move here, our schools are stronger, our activities are more active, our organizations are, and so consequently we just have a better place for all of us to live. Okay, so the other thing is that our local businesses reinvest in our community. Local businesses reinvest in our communities by investing in our local banks, spending their profits locally, paying and generating local taxes, hiring local service providers, advertising in local media, and they are the major supporters of local charities, athletic programs, fundraisers, and school activities. It also, as you know, supports your government services. As the dollars are circulated and recirculated and the sales taxes are generated locally, we can strengthen our local economy, better enable our local governments to provide essential services like public safety, parks, recreation, utilities, and the infrastructure, which is what's going on right here today. So while I'm talking about circulating and recirculating, I want to talk to you about this multiplier effect. Take this little pool over here, this pool analogy, money coming into our county, swirling around and coming back out. But while it's swirling around, a lot of good things are happening. Now, this is not a tremendous thing for you to see, but you're going to understand what's going on here. Well, let's say that I need to buy a puzzle for my 3-year-old grandson. I'm going to go to, I could go to Walmart, I could go to Walgreens, and the same would be true anywhere I bought it locally. I also could buy it up at My Favorite Toys, which happens to be one of my favorite toy stores. But I also have a place to buy Melissa and Doug toys, and that's Medicap Pharmacy. Medicap Pharmacy has a great little section of these high-quality toys for kids. So I go to Medicap Pharmacy, and I buy a puzzle for Michael. Okay, I want you to remember that the Brimers own that. The Brimers have 2 grandchildren who are very involved in local theater and arts. So they're at the high school, they're involved there, they're involved in the Anna Art Center. Just keep that in the back of your mind. So I make my purchase from the Brimers at Medicap, and one of the farm techs who got paid there, let me tell you about her. She has a son who plays soccer, and her grandmother died about a year ago, and she's been very sad about missing her grandmother. Her grandmother's buried in Jonesboro Cemetery. Keep that in mind. Okay, so she has had a hard day at work. The kids were up late last night with school projects, and she stops by Kiki's Coffee House in the morning, the next morning to go to work. She is so glad to be there. It's got really good coffee. Okay, well, as you know, Kathy and Steve are big supporters of Union County. Downtown Anna, they do open mic nights where there's no charge. You just come buy some coffee, and people are swarming there. Young people are playing music. People in our community are playing music. It's a great thing on Thursday nights. But the other thing you need to remember about Kiki's is that she buys her milk from Farm Fresh in Anna. She also gets her coffee from Steam Shovel Coffee. Who is Steam Shovel Coffee? That's Randy Miller. And over on Spring Street, he has his little roasting garage. It's his roasting building. And he sells it lots of other places, but we can buy it locally. And she buys it. Okay, so keep in mind that Randy Miller has 2 little boys. His 2 little boys are just about the age they maybe want to be on the swim team this year. Where's the swim team practice? In a park. So they may want to be on the Blue Dolphins. But Randy and Brooke also really value fresh vegetables. So they go to the farmer's market and they buy some fresh beets that are going to be coming up. And they just love the fresh vegetables there. And the farmer who sells that to them says, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. I have had such a great day at the farmer's market every Tuesday that I am going to extend my crops into the fall. So he goes over to Keith Ellis's at Farm Fresh. And at Farm Fresh, he buys his seeds there. Now, Keith has 2 kids. Oh, I'm not Farm Fresh. Thank you. Okay, so FF. Okay, so he has 2 kids. His son is in FFA at the high school. His daughter plays all kinds of Jonesboro sports. And they're both in 4-H. Okay, so Keith is doing well, and he gives one of his workers the day off. And as he's going down the road with money in his pocket, his truck breaks down. You think, okay, I'm just getting this taken care of. It's going to happen. So he goes over to Tim Clover at Anna Tire and Auto. Okay, now I want you to remember that Tim Clover owns Anna Tire and Auto. Tim has 4 kids. So Tim buys a lot of food. So Tim goes over to Kroger and he picks up some extra food because they're going to have a family gathering that night and all the kids are coming over. And remember, Kroger is very supportive of athletic programs. So we've got money going into Kroger. And on the way, also, one of his workers at Tim's has a son who is in martial arts with Heather Kaufman's martial arts classes. Okay, so we go from the martial arts, and did you know Heather is extremely supportive of veterans? So she gives some donations of her time and her money to the Veterans Association. So back to this worker. So on the way home, he realizes that they are out of milk, so he stops at Save-A-Lot. And as we all know, that Sam O'Neill is very generous to our community. But so Sam has had an extra good year, so he says, I want to give back more to my community. And so he gives more money to, in his discount, to the Kiwanis for all the supplies that they buy for their cooks, which comes back to the community. And to Don Denny, he sells his meat to him at a good price so that Don can do his cook at Lick Creek School. Which one's coming up next, Don?
22nd.
On the 22nd okay. And so that comes back to the Lick Creek organization. So because I bought a puzzle, I'm one person. And how many people are doing this every day? Because I bought a puzzle, the yearbook staff, or the one person over there I forgot to mention whose child was on the yearbook staff. The yearbook got money because local businesses paid for an ad. PASS and Union County Historical Society got money because local businesses are donating. The Anna Arts Center got money. The FFA, all these are from businesses that are donating to the Blue Dolphins, to the Bald Knob, to the PTO, to school teams, to school clubs, to Boys and Girl Scouts, and from their tax monies, church events. The fire department, I forgot to mention up here, a guy had a fire. But anyway, so the fire department was there to take care of him. This lady's grandmother's body was taken care of, and the cemetery was all taken care of nicely. The parks and the pool were all nice. Police department was there, and we ended up with a thriving economy. So that's the multiplier effect. Time one person. And take that times all of us. Take it times all of these kids who are in their ball teams, who are in the swim team, all of that. Think what a difference we could make with money coming into Union County and staying in Union County. But we have to be aware. We have to make the difference. So, empowerment is our last point on this board. Residents often feel powerless to impact changes in the state's financial situation. Except by voting and writing letters, there's not a lot you can do about that. But you can make a difference in Union County, and this is one way to do it. So, Charlotte, I'm going to go through these cards, and you're going to be my assistant with the signs as needed. Okay. All of our presentations end with a call to action. We've been to that UCEDC, Economic Development. We've already been to the Chamber of Commerce. We're coming to you today. We're going to be speaking at Rotary, we're speaking at Anna City Council, Jonesboro City Council, a women's club, Cobden Business Association, and every time that we speak to you and anyone else, we're going to give a call to action. And here's what we're going to ask everyone to do. We're going to ask you to consider buying a sign for your yard, or to buy a sweatshirt, or just talk to somebody, or buy a t-shirt. Charlotte, would you talk to them about the signs, what we have for our signs?
We have, this is our standard sign here, and we have different sizes. I'm going to really pass out an order form, so to just tell them, stand up here and tell you the price, so that you can purchase one if you'd like to, or you know of a business who you might recommend it to. This is how you can make a custom sign. If you want to make a custom sign that reflects your business, this is one that Evelyn has in her storefront at her business. Reflects that local realtors know and show local properties, because if you list it with someone in Carbondale, they might not know your local properties. So, and then we have the t-shirts, and then we have the decals. So I'm going to be passing on everybody order form, so you'll be aware of the prices.
Okay. And like she said, this is nonprofit, so we make just a few dollars on each sign that we sell, and we only get it as a credit back to B&D Signs, John Oxford, local business, who will give us more signs than for us to put out. So as soon as our talking presentation time is over, then we're going to be putting some of these out. And so those of you can see mine that I made over here, a custom one to support the Jonesboro Bulldogs. We're hoping that the Cobden Apple Knockers and the Shawnee Warriors and then the Anning Indians will all get those too, to show people when you buy locally, you're supporting these kids. The smallest sign is $12. We're talking low money here. Okay, so we're asking everybody to help spread the word. That's the first call to action. The next one is, we hope that everybody will thank and support the local businesses who are doing these things. My multiplier over there, look how many people were affected, how much money they give. Now that I'm in business and not in education, it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how much money is asked for and is given out. And that's good. The next thing we're going to ask you to do, and we're really hoping that some of you in this room will do this, is to write a letter to the editor in support of this project, either how it affects you as a business person, how it affects you as a county, how it affects you as a dad whose kids play on a ball team. Anything is fine. We'd like for you to send them to a specific address, though, so that they trickle out one at a time, as opposed to having them all come out at once. Okay. We ask the Chamber to help us by spreading the word on their website when we spoke to them. We're going to be asking the city and the utility companies to please let us put a small slip inside the utility bills explaining this. This is kind of the technical part, and this is just the bottom line for anyone. Think shop, buy local. We ask UCEDC, Economic Development, to continue supporting the CEO project, because everything that we're talking about here affects us as grandparents, as parents, as business people. But who we have to get is the next generation. We need to be speaking to the juniors and seniors. We need to get them to love our county. And when they see, when they go to Alto Pass and they visit the place up there that makes the concrete planters for the city of Chicago, when they go down the quarry, when they go behind Walmart, when they see the things that happen in our county, they're just going to be like, this is great. Will they go away to school? Probably. Will they have their first jobs away? Maybe. Will they come back here? We hope so. That's what we need them to do. Okay, here's what we're asking the county to do. Okay, ready? We're hoping that you can either give us a small amount of money or in-kind donation so that we can mail some flyers to the business community. We have tapped out our budget for this so far, but there is a letter that we have directed to business people talking about our project, why it's important to them. In it, we talk about signs that they could do and give them ideas. We also talk to them about making the point with people about why they should buy locally. Put a sign in your window. Get somebody to come in your door. Don't just be passive. Don't just wait for people to come in. Give excellent customer service, like in a service provider. Tell them what you know. Maybe down here at, did you know that From the Heart, They have jewelry, they have scarves, they have all kinds of baby gifts, in addition to flowers. Did you know that at Down Home Doodads, you can buy a really special kind of lotion made out of goat's milk that for people who are really sensitive can buy that there and they love it. People have to sell themselves. So we have that letter where we're talking to businesses, and that's what we need your help with, is either an in-kind donation of postage or copying for us, something like that. If you could do that or give us a donation towards postage to the businesses in Union County, that would be extremely helpful. Okay, the last thing, I think there's one more, is to just be mindful yourselves. In your own purchases, just be aware, could I buy it locally? In the county's purchases, could you buy it locally? Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. Sometimes the cost difference is too great, but at least try. You'll be surprised that our local people will work with you. Charlotte, you want to pass things out? Does anyone have any questions for us?